Hey everybody, and welcome to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time again. It's been about a week since I've played this, but unlike the Sonic series, I am actually still enjoying Ocarina of Time. It is definitely a fun game. So, let's get back into it. Also, I am disappointed in the fact that I will never be able to play the Ocarina of Time remake because unless Nintendo changes their mind, it will only be on Nintendo Switch 2. And I might love games, but I don't love games enough to spend $700 to $500 on a console just for a singular game. So, yeah. But it would have been nice to experience Ocarina of Time in a better light, but I'm not too upset about it. But I would like an official, there is an official port. Like, you can find Ocarina of Time officially on both the Nintendo 64 cart and the GameCube. There's two versions actually. Wait, what? Oh, that's hateful. There we go. We're back. We're back. I need to remember to save more often and not use the emulator setting. But now I need to know what we were doing because I don't remember what we were doing. We have the Hylian shield. But does this mean do we have Yeah, we do. We need the wooden shield equipped. And I notice we have Din's fire. So that actually reminds me I needed to look up the next fairy because I think the next fairy I want to unlock in terms of its power, I want to unlock the all right. Yeah. So Zora's Fountain. Once we get Faror's Wind, the spell, which works only in dungeon, allows you to construct, use, and dispel warp points. Yeah. Which I thought there was like a ooh. Wait, Din's Fire. Din's Fire, which was the first one, wasn't it? No. Oh, it is the one we just got. Din's Fire. So we have to go back to that. Oh crap. That was my fault. We have to go back to that and get the other one, but oh, that's right. We were supposed to contact Saria. So we need to go to the Forest Temple again. Oh. Oh, that's right. This game doesn't have a rapid climb button. Surprisingly, I think there's very few games that like hold up really well, but Super Mario 64 and so far this game, they they hold up really well. Now, I do know that I am playing on an emulator that gives me upscaled textures, better resolution, better controls, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, it still works out. I've said this before, but you have no idea how smooth this game feels playing with this 8-bit Do Pro 3 controller. Yes, that's a plug for my controller, but like it feels like a modern game playing on this controller. It really does. There's the Skull Kid. Oh, hold on a minute. Crap. That was my fault. I forgot if I want to get rid of the... There we go. Dang it, man. I'm glad I can just reset him. Wait, what? It is the Skull Kid, right? Oh, hold on a minute. I'm dumb. Oh, wait. Don't we have to play? We have to play Saria's song, don't we? I think I remember this. I think I remember this. We have to play Saria's song. So let's find the page with Saria's song in it. Where is the page with Saria's song? Is it in the middle? Yeah, it is. I can feel it. Alright. Heart piece. Honestly, the mask looked really good on him. And I also know about Majora's Mask, which the protagonist of that game is a Skull Kid. And it kind of makes me want to learn the lore of the Skull Kids. Like, why? What are they? Are they mischievous little buggers like leprechauns or something? Oh, this reminds me. I got bombs, don't I? Yeah, I do. Do I have a fish? I do. I do have a fish. I'll take that. Also, I want to point out this emulator is running really well overall. I know that it isn't quite as compatible with this phone as my old phone because my old phone didn't have any problems with certain games, but this phone is supposed to be stronger, but it's actually not. I don't think it's actually stronger. I do regret upgrading my phone to a new phone, but it is what it is. I think it's this way, ain't it? No, I chose poorly. I chose poorly. Also, there's stuff we can do over here too. I think it's not back here. I can get rupees. I like that. Yeah, sure. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, I got it right. Aw. I bet you those get harder, and the more you play, the like more rupees you get. But 1 rupee for that? Mm-mm. Sorry about that. I will always do that. Wait, how does one get up there? Obviously, there's something there, but I can't get up there. So, I've been playing a lot of Legend of Zelda lately. Like, a lot of Legend of Zelda. Yeah, I know, Navi. I've been playing a lot of Legend of Zelda, and honestly, it's the only game series that's been, like, enjoyable for me lately. I have been playing Monster Hunter, like, World again. I've actually recorded a few sessions of that on Twitch, but like I just haven't been excited to play as many games as I used to be. It's sad, but it's true. So I think now I go right, right? No. I go left. What? Straight? No. Damn it. Alright. I don't remember the path. The music gimmick only works one time. After that, it plays like the song constantly. But this is the reason we have guides for old games that are very cryptic. So, go forward. We go left. We go this way. Straight leads to Goron City. This leads to Zora's River. Up. Okay. This leads to Goron City, so you know what? Let's blow up this. So now we have a shortcut back to Goron City. And then this leads directly. So this way. And now if I'm here. So this leads to Zora's River. But unfortunately, we can't take this shortcut because we need the feather. Whoa. But this way. And now we just go straight again. Turn a left. And then go straight again. What? Okay. Maybe I have to go to Saria's house first. I feel cheated. I feel cheated. So cheated. Because that should have been to the forest. Whoa. Oh, 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 oh. Found a glitch. Found a glitch. Don't. Well, poop. I was right. We had to go there, but why did it not work? Because at this point in the game, you do not hear the ocarina anymore. So you can't just immediately like listen to the song. Of course, I guess the game expects you at this point. They've already shown you the path to the temple. They expect you to memorize it. No. But there's only one path. Wait, what? Oh my god, I confused myself. There are two paths. Oh, do we take this path? That's what it was. We took... So, I'm looking at the map. And the map is forward, forward, and then left, and then straight. But if we turn the map to its side, it's forward, forward, like up, and then right. So I was looking at the map on its like, I'm looking at the map at like front, and the map looks like forward, forward, and then left, and then another like forward. But hmm, I have a spell of dry mouth, which sucks. This always happens during some of my playthroughs. Well, it's sometimes happens during some of my playthroughs where my mouth will get really, really dry. And then I start coughing. But we're going to save here. Because this part sucks. Ah! Actually, what am I doing? Let's just run. Yeah, I think the problem I had last time was that I was too overly cautious. Yeah, look at how easy that was when I wasn't trying to be too cautious. Wait, what? Hold on a minute. Was I supposed to just use the ocarina and just talk to her? You know, part of me kind of wishes that after you learn the songs, you could autoplay them whenever you wanted to. Wait, what? What? Woman, you told me to play the ocarina, and now you want to talk face to face? I am literally standing a few feet from you. I I'm so confused. You know what? We're gonna load slot. And now we're going to try to play the ocarina. You know? Yes, yes, I want to talk. Okay, so now we gotta go to Zora's domain. So that I guess what they were trying to do there, and maybe I read it wrong or understood it wrong. Maybe since I was literally right next to her, she doesn't want to use Saria's song to talk to me when we are literally like next to each other. It makes more sense to talk face to face. But the fact that she told I talked when I talked to her, she says play the she plays like she says play the song to talk to her, and I play the song to talk to her, and she tells me to talk to her face to face. And then Navi tells me to talk to Saria, but I talk to Saria face to face, and it's like, nope, that ain't gonna work. So now we're going to Zora's domain, which means we need to go back to the main Hyrule area. And I think we go up and then to the left, but I could be wrong. Let me find this on the map. Also, I've been loving this playthrough because I actually get to use this dang on Prima strategy guide I bought. It actually kind of makes me want to... Yeah, there's a big map right here. So, Hyrule Field, Kakariko Village, Graveyard, Zora's River. So we got to go to Zora's River and then Zora's Domain. And I believe once we go to Zora's Domain, we have to play... I think it's either Zelda's Lullaby or Saria's Song, if I recall. Also, since I'm here, there we go. Since I'm here, might as well. Grab some of these. Do they grow back? I think they grow back, actually. Yeah, they grow back. So if I want to sit here farming, I could farm it like max sticks really fast. Wait, is that? Yeah, this is the exit to the village. I don't know why, but I want to do... I want to play like Breath of the Wild on the channel. I don't really want to play Tears of the Kingdom on the channel, even though I have more fun with that game. Mainly because I think Tears of the Kingdom gets on the verge of too much content. Yes, I do believe there is such a thing as too much content in video games. And hold on a minute, I want to go over here. And for me, too much content is when a game takes about when a game takes more than 60 hours to complete the main story. That, in my opinion, is on the verge of too much content. Now, I think 60 hours is a good, like, ground for single-player games. If it takes 60 hours to beat the story, and then another 20 hours to 100% it, I think that's a good like realm of gameplay for single-player games, because 60 hours to just get through the game, and then 20 hours to like do cleanup for the game. Which makes sense because during my playthrough, I took 90 hours to defeat like not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. It was 90 hours, and then after 90 hours, I beat the game. And I was actually ecstatic to finally beat a Zelda game, because Breath of the Wild is still the only Zelda game I have officially beaten. The only one. I've played all of them, or at least most of them. Okay, so we gotta play Zelda's Lullaby. But I've played most of the Zelda games. I have had a chance to play the first Zelda, I have had a chance to play Zelda 2. I've had a chance to play Majora's Mask, which I hate. I'm sorry. I do not like Majora's Mask. I just don't. Okay, that didn't work. I know a lot of people consider that a good Zelda game, some people's favorites in terms of story, but I don't like the time mechanic, and when I want to play Zelda, I want a game that I feel like I'm making progress on, and Ocarina of Time just does not give me that feeling. Not like the other Zeldas do. It's not a bad game, it's just not for me. But like Majora's Mask was all right. Ocarina of Time so far has been amazing, but I've already played Ocarina of Time before. This isn't the first time I've played this game. I've played it to about, yeah, on GameCube, the literal GameCube disc. I played it up until the like lava, the volcano area. I got to the volcano area, I got super confused, and then I just abandoned the playthrough. And I've done the emulated version of this game twice because I used to own a physical like disc. I sold it like a nincompoop. I should not have sold my GameCube copy of the collector's edition. Not only did it have a like like demo for Wind Waker on it, but it contained the original like versions of Zelda 1, 2, and Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. So it contained four full-length Zelda titles and a demo on one GameCube disc. And it ran splendidly. But that's the only like Octorok, no Octorok. That's the only like re-release this game has had for physical. Unlike Super Mario 64, which they re-released in a package containing Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64 and Galaxy, they have never re-released like Ocarina of Time physically except for the GameCube that I know of. They do have the like Nintendo Switch online service, which you can download this to your Nintendo Switch to play it, which I think is the GameCube version. But there hasn't been an official re-release of this game since the GameCube. Like, hard copy, I mean. And I had a hard copy, but I sold it for money because I needed the money. But I'm doing my best not to sell any of my games. I gave away my Switch copy of Sonic Frontiers because I don't like that game. I don't see myself as ever wanting to return to that game, even though I respect it so much. And I have the digital version of the PS5 version. I have the digital PS5 version, that made more sense. But I gave my Switch copy of Sonic Frontiers away, and I gave a duplicate copy of Lights Camera Pants away as well. So technically I only lost one game, but I'm trying my best not to stoop so low as to need to get rid of my like collection of games because I'm trying to build that collection back up again. But I should not have like given away my or sold my hard copy of the collector's edition of Zelda. And I know the funny thing is I also know that they did a re-release of the game as well. They had it contained the 64 game again, the full game, and it contained Master Quest as well. So I know about that. Oh shit. Eh. This is finicky as balls. You have to be very, very good at this. And I've never been good at this. Oh. Hold on a minute. I just had a epiphany. If I can throw this, open the menu, and then no, it's not gonna work. So, but this is very, very finicky. Yeah. See, that don't work. That don't work. I would never understand what they expect me to do in this section. Because that's, you're supposed to use this cuckoo to get that. But it's so finicky about how you get this. Do I have to throw the cuckoo? Yeah. See, you have to have the cuckoo. But wait, hold on a minute. Do I have to do I have to like get close, throw the cuckoo? Really? So they expected you to get close. They expected you to get close to the ledge, throw your cuckoo, and then grab the ledge? Like, who's gonna think of that? I mean, it took me a few tries and experimentation, but I got my heart piece. Like, I'm sorry, but who the heck is going to think to do that? No, no, no. Okay. Hmm. But what? I don't know why I thought that might have a Korok in it, but it just looks so strange and out of place. Now we gotta jump down here. And this is where we play Zelda's Lullaby. Because I remember this section. The funny thing is, if I wanted a that GameCube version again of this game, the physical disc, I would have to shell out probably $120. Like it was a dumb sell. The one thing you don't do as a game collector, you don't sell your most expensive titles unless you absolutely have to, or you can get a better deal than when you originally got them. And I think I sold it for like, I spent 120 on it, and I sold it for like $62 to $68, which was a net failure. It was a net negative instead of a net positive. You don't do that with your like most expensive games. So we're going to play a mini game first because I want the feather. It's only 5 rupees. Start. Wee! Sploop. Two. Three. 4. And 5. See, I remember that part. Like, I remember quite a bit from this point on. So, there's also a store in here. But I do remember quite a bit. We got an upgrade. Also, that is a really good water effect. And now with this, what I can do is I can jump down. And we can go to Zora's River. Well, sort of. Crap. And now we're at Zora's River. And we need to first grab this bottle. Now we give that to the king. But we can now choose to just explore this area for a little bit. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do here. But there's a decent amount of stuff you can actually do in this area. In fact, there is a very secret thing you can do with the sun up there. We're going to have to do that later. And there's a scarecrow over here which you can play a song for. I think it's this one up here. So now actually, wow. The Scarecrow's song is just blank. So let's see if I can play. Sorry. It sounds terrible. I should have come up with my own melody. Oh no. Oh no. No. I gotta listen to it again. No. Oh god. So the Nintendo 64 actually would save things in its RAM. The fact that it actually had enough like RAM to save this song and just replay it to you at any point is actually kind of fabulous. Like that is insanely high attention to detail for a Nintendo game back then. Nintendo's always had a good like chunk of development put into detail. Like their detail in some of their games are just amazing. All right. See that sounds a little bit better. So I have no clue how to do their quest, but they have a quest associated with them. I think they give a heart piece or something. But as I was stating, the Legend of Zelda titles Nintendo titles in general have always had a air of quality around them. The first thing the first thing that they pride themselves on, even to this day, is making their gameplay very, very fun. That is what they do above all else. They want their gameplay to be fun, and if their gameplay is fun, then they will work on the story, and then they will work on the graphics or art style, and then they will work on polish. But normally they focus on polish and gameplay above everything else, which means a lot of Nintendo titles will forego a lot of things to make the gameplay and the polish fantastic. That means a lot of Nintendo titles will just flat out not have voice acting. Some of them will turn the graphics to potato mode just so their gameplay feels smoother. Sometimes they will like jam their like games with content, but a lot of that content is reused assets or environments or gameplay ideas until you feel a quota of completion. Now, on the other spectrum of the gaming side, Sony and Xbox love to do quantity over quality in some cases, where a lot of their games will have hundreds of hours of stuff to do, but depending on if those hundreds of hours are fun or not is up to the individual. But Sony's quality, Sony and Xbox is a little up there, but unless it's a first party Sony title, there's less there's less quality in what Sony games have in them versus Xbox and Nintendo. Nintendo has the best quality for games, period, in terms of fun factor. That's the reason I've been playing so many Nintendo titles, is just because they still feel like video games. I can play a Nintendo title and I don't feel like I'm wasting my time, because games are time wasters in the grand scheme of things. But Nintendo makes their games insanely fun. Like, I don't feel like it's a time waster. I genuinely feel like I'm having fun. Sony games of lately need to be these epic 100-hour masterpieces with a grand story, grand visuals, grand voice acting. And a lot of them can be good and can be fun, but sometimes because of what they are, their pacing slows down to a crawl for me, and I end up not enjoying them at all. And Xbox titles are all over the place, but most of the time, any Xbox title I've played, first party Xbox title, they have really good gameplay. That's why I love the Halo series so much, because all the Halo games I've had a chance to play on Xbox 360 and Xbox, they were fun. They were fun. They were damn fun. But that controller, man, that controller sucks in my personal opinion. But yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of gaming on Sony because sadly, I think a lot of Sony titles aren't fun anymore, or at least they're just mentally exhausting with how much content they kind of want you to do. And Nintendo's the same way. Nintendo games have a lot of content, but a lot of their content is reused over and over and over for different effects. Like, think of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They reused the entire map from Breath of the Wild, but they added a undermap and an overmap, meaning sky and earth, or sky and below, or whatever you want to call it. But they added a sky island map and they added a depths map, along with the entire Breath of the Wild map. But the Breath of the Wild map is exactly the same as the previous game, except with some changes, some environmental changes, some enemy placements being different, and the chests being different. But look at Super Mario Sunshine. They literally reused a lot of content from that game and just added content all over the place in places that they already had. And I mean, look at Zelda Ocarina of Time. They made Majora's Mask out of the files of Ocarina, and they made Master Quest out of the files of Ocarina. But does that mean that their games are bad? No, but being a Nintendo fan, I can understand why some people would get tired of their lack of innovation. But when a game does innovate, a lot of people jump on it and praise its like ways up and down. When Sony innovates and does something new, a lot of people tear it down and whatnot. And Xbox, I don't know enough about Xbox to understand what they do, but I am so excited for Halo on PlayStation. That's going to be my game of the month next month when I get it. All right. So anyway, now we have the bottle, which is going to be an upgrade. Part of me thinks this is just a secret, like, mechanic to hide a loading screen in the back. But this one scene has been memed through the roof. Also, there is a like hidden thing where if you light the torches in the back fast enough down here, you get a reward. Or at least I think you do. I feel like there's another torch somewhere. See? There's one way over there. ₹300, good lord. We don't have. Also, if you wanted to spend 200 rupees on a fish from the Zora's shop, you could just come here. But since we got the fish earlier, we don't have to do that. Actually, that reminds me. Let's take the fish, put that there because we're gonna need it, and let's not touch the analog stick and ruin this. Also, I don't want to say that Sony games are bad. I have been a PlayStation guy for 20 years. I haven't really been a Nintendo person up until I got my Switch. Now, once I got my Switch, I became a extremely heavy Nintendo person. But that's mainly because the Switch is portable and I'm never home. When I am working, I am never home long enough to enjoy my PlayStation 5. Like, the most I've been home in the last 5 years was the vacation that I was given that surprisingly went by really quickly, which it was a week and a half. And that's where the influx of videos came from. because I was pumping out content for this channel because I was on vacation. And yeah, that was actually fun. That was really fun. Like, I stayed home a lot, did some things that I wanted to do, played golf, shot some firearms at a range, worked out more than I have in a while, and just chilled around the house when I could. It was actually really good. It was really fun. But when I'm not home, I typically would carry my Switch around, and I will game on that when I don't have anything else to do immediately. And often I'll just play 30 or 40 minutes at a time in the gaming session, pack my Switch up, and continue my daily life. Whereas with PlayStation, I have to dedicate a set amount of time to actually enjoy the game or enjoy the system. But that's the sad thing, like so many of the Sony titles that I enjoy, I realize just how much time sink they have in them, and that kind of time sink I just don't have anymore. Alright, actually, you know what? I think this is a good time to end this episode. In the next episode, we will do Lord Jabu Jabu's Belly, which is a dungeon. So I think this is a good place to leave off. So we're gonna save here. And then we're going to go to the cancel. We're gonna reset. I think this is a good spot to leave Zelda off at. Oh, I think I broke the emulator. I broke the emulator. So let us load slot. Let's see if I break the emulator again. Nope, that time it didn't. But I broke the emulator. That's funny. But yeah. Thank you all for watching this episode. Sorry I cut it short and didn't do a dungeon, but I think we recorded long enough. We got some stuff done. We messed around with the scarecrows. We actually have the opportunity to do a dungeon. And the main reason I'm ending this episode early is because it's late and I got work in the morning, so I think this is a good stopping point. In the next episode, we'll probably do the entire... Actually, no, we won't probably do. We will do the entire dungeon. And on the point of, which, platform you play on is better, I actually think each platform has their own cons and benefits. I've had the Switch for a year and a half now, and the portability is perfection. The games, the first-party Nintendo titles are all, at least 8 out of 10 games. My least favorite one would have to be a 7 out of 10. Now, there is a caveat. So, bad Switch titles are bad. And yeah, there's that. Sony titles, the reason I'm burned out about them is because I feel like all the new Sony games just don't respect my time like they should. They want more out of me than they give me. And I just feel burnt out by playing these huge AAA games that have to last at least 100 hours. I'm tired of long cutscenes that just drag on and on. I'm tired of gameplay that has, overly complicated mechanics. I'm tired of not being able to sit down and play for 30 minutes or 40 minutes at a time. I have to commit to 2 to 3 hour long sessions if I want to play any PlayStation game lately. And that's fine. That's fine. I know not every game is going to be to my liking, but I do feel like Sony games can be hit or miss these days. Like, I have not found a Sony game that hooked me until Dragon's Dogma 2, and ironically, the Ready or Not games. Those games were fun, although not YouTube friendly. And they're also very depressing. The Ready or Not game, I mean. But going back to older games that I played before, that's been where Sony is at for me. Like, going back to the games that made me love my PS4 and PS5. Games like Monster Hunter World, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2, Dragon's Dogma 1, some of the Tekken 7, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Those games still are fun for me. But again, a gaming console is meant for fun. If you're having fun playing whatever you want, it does not matter what anyone else thinks, as long as you're having fun. And that's my philosophy. As long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters to me. I don't care much about gaming gossip or, like, uber critiques. Everyone's opinion matters in my personal opinion, but sometimes it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are, as long as you like what you're doing, you like what you enjoy. But it's always nice to have other people's opinions. That's why gaming retrospectives are so fun to watch, is because, well, you want to see other people's opinions, other people's thoughts on what you love or hate. Because everyone is different. But yeah, I right now I think Nintendo games are my forte until Halo comes out and, like, Dragon's Dogma gets its new DLC expansion. And maybe there'll be a Sony game that I get hooked to like I used to, but probably not. I still want to play Expedition 33 and a bunch of other games, but right now I'm happy in my little gaming circle. So, yeah. Well, rambling over. Let's end the video. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next Zelda title or Zelda playthrough. Toodles, everybody.